The average British family of four spends about £450 a month on groceries, while in the US, they would spend about $800. That's a heck of a lot of money on food each month. So by those numbers, who do you think shops more? Brits or Americans? Stick around to find out. Hey guys, it's Amanda. I'm an American living in the UK, so I post about my life and experiences living here, as well as weekly reactions requested by all of you. Now, months ago, I did a video comparing American and British grocery stores. That sounded so weird. I never really say groceries anymore. I always say food shop. Anyway, there were quite a few differences, but one thing I never really touched on was how often both countries buy food. So that's what we're going to do today. But again, with all of my videos, I'm not saying that every Brit and every American is exactly the same. This is just based on the average and my personal experiences. But let me know in the comments how often you visit the food shop per week. Growing up with my mom and siblings, we usually went grocery shopping every 2 weeks, except for the occasional midweek shop for milk, eggs, and bread if we ran out. But that was pretty much the norm for most families that I knew. Some would even go once a month if they went to wholesalers like Costco or Sam's Club and bought in bulk. So basically, we just went to go food shopping as little as possible. But since moving here, it's the opposite. Most people I know go to the shop at least twice a week, sometimes more. For me personally, I do one big weekly shop and then once or twice for the essentials like eggs and milk, that sort of thing. So why is that? Why do Brits generally grocery shop multiple times a week and Americans once or less? Number 1. The most obvious would be space. In the US, on average, we have bigger houses, so therefore there's more cupboard space to store the food in, as well as the massive fridge freezer. As we all know, a lot of Americans have the big 2-door refrigerators compared to the smaller ones that Brits get here. Sometimes they even fit underneath the counters in the kitchen, like they're itty-ditty. So obviously you can't store as much food in them. Therefore, you need to go to the shop more often. So that's a no-brainer. That one is pretty self-explanatory. Number 2, shelf life of food. In the UK, food doesn't last nearly as long as it does in the US, and that's down to our preservations and processing methods. For example, milk in the US usually won't expire for 2 weeks compared to here in the UK, where I think it's usually a week. Although, to be fair, in my house, we go through milk like it's going out of style, so it doesn't really matter how long it lasts. But in the US, meats and many other perishables are the same. So that's why Americans don't have to shop as often as Brits, because, the food lasts longer, which isn't necessarily a good or bad thing. It's just one of those things. Number 3, culturally, we are just very different. Surprise, surprise. But what I mean by that is here in the UK, going to the market has been a thing for donkeys, as many people live within walking distance to towns with shops and butchers, etc. Whereas in America, most people have to drive to the supermarket because everything is so far apart. It definitely doesn't cater to people walking to the shop, ever. I think when I lived in Pennsylvania, if I walked to the shop, it would take me at least 24 hours, maybe more. It's really not a thing. So there you have it. Brits typically grocery shop more than Americans each week. But to be honest, I go to the supermarket as little as possible. It's always busy, and quite frankly, I'd rather be doing anything else. But if there's anything I missed that you would like to add, put it in the comments. Or maybe if you just fancy saying hello, head over to my Instagram and give me a follow. And if you really love the channel and would like to support, you can click the link in my description. And as always, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, smash that like button if that's what you're into, and I'll see you in the next video.